Hello, this is Lisa Rusczyk with the podcast We're All Psychic. And who are you?
And and I'm Donna Murphy with the podcast We're All Psychic with Lisa and Nichell.
Nichell is here, guys. Nichell. Y'all know Nichell. And if you do not, she is a wonderful astrologer that I love to death. And she's been on the podcast a whole bunch of times. Go check everything out. Nichell. And she's on Instagram. She's lovely. Her videos, they always make me happy. Nichell, your videos always make me happy on Instagram. So anyway, Nichell, we do have a question for you again. Do you think we're all psychics still?
We are all psychic, and thank you, ladies, for having me on again.
She was going, listeners and watchers, so we're going to dive right in. She started going. I said, let me hit record. She is here to talk about June 5th, June 9th, June 6th, June 7th, June 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th. It's a very anticipatory moment for the listeners, but the watchers can see what's happening on YouTube and Spotify if they're watching. And I am trying a new thing with my camera. I'm not mirroring it. So I'm going to see if I'm looking at you, Donna, right now when it comes out. And oh my gosh, Kat is having hairball.
Oh.
Who's having hairball?
Gandalf. Oh, Gandalf, you okay, baby? Oh, it's your poor baby. Oh, it's your Gandalf. He's our mascot. He's just, I don't know why. He's throwing up again.
Oh, no.
Well, I think it's just a hairball. He has a really, really delicate way of puking him up and then swallowing him back right away. He won't puke him out. So he's got a technique to where if it comes up and it's going to go out, he'll swallow it back down. He's weird.
Oh.
And so does Einstein. I've never had cats who didn't puke up their hairballs. These cats just do not. Ever.
It's very unusual.
They just taught themselves how to catch it and swallow it.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Yeah, they're amazing. They're magic cats. They are. Einstein's my lucky cat and Gandalf's my wizard, and they're really cool. They're I mean, it's like I've lived alone with them for so long that we've kind of built a little ecosystem with the three of us of understanding, and it's getting kind of tense because maybe the astrology can explain this. He's a Taurus, Einstein's a Taurus, and Gandalf's a Gemini. And they've been fighting because Gandalf is getting a little older. He wants Mama's attention all the time. And if Einstein has any of Mama's attention, he does not like it. So,
yeah. Dealing with jealousy.
Yeah.
One is earthy. The other one is air. One needs more. The Taurus one definitely needs a lot more cuddles.
He does. But that's the thing. Gandalf won't let me, the Gemini won't let me cuddle a Taurus without biting him and stuff and trying to get him off. And I've been doing things to train him off that like I used to. And it is working. It's just going to take time, I think. What I do is I either get a water gun, that's the extreme, but I usually get a water bottle and I'll shake it and then I'll take a sip and I'll go like, and if he keeps doing it, I'll spit it at him. And then all I have to do is shake the bottle and he'll stop every single time. From then on, I won't spit a lot at him, just enough to make him go, whoa. Yeah. They hate water. I don't know. Maybe I don't think it hurts them, but they just hate it, and he knows that that's not something that he wants to happen. And he understands that's me being like, you're not supposed to do that to your Bubba. And then I do the Bubba talk, your brothers. And I'll be like, good brothers, lick faces, brother.
Each other.
Yeah, I do all that stuff. And they'll go and like, lick faces, kind of, Anyway, we're here about astrology. You don't want to talk hear about my cats licking faces, but it does make sense because Taurus and Gemini are like right next to each other, and sometimes when you're right next to someone for a long time, they get on your nerves, and they've been around each other solo for like 6 years now.
Sometimes those next door neighbors, don't get along so well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
the Gemini cat needs a lot more stimulation.
Yes,
you're right. Maybe get him toys.
Something. I did. He was so happy that day. Yeah,
something he can engage in more than the other one. The other one's more, it is more comfortable just lounging.
Yes, very much. Yeah. But it's funny because when one of them plays, they both play, but one is like overweight and the other one isn't anymore. So
is the Taurus one overweight?
The Taurus, of course, is overweight. He's a big old fat orange, but he's not an orange. He's like a beige. He's like a beige tuxedo. He's like a buff colored tuxedo cat with white and buff color. The woman who got him for me from the pound said he was rose gold and white. And Gandalf is gray, of course. So that's also there. So listeners and watchers, Nichell that's why we have our space background on if you're watching. Nichell is going to explain some amazing rainbow holographic astrology. Did you see that rainbow, Donna? Did you see the rainbow behind her?
Yeah. There's a rainbow. Oh, you know what? It's probably the crystals bouncing light.
I love that. I have some of those too.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So would you like to teach us what you were going to teach us about what's coming up in the astrology? I would love to hear it, Nichell, from you especially.
There's so much in terms of mental mindset, perspective, intellectual changes that are going on. And it really has to do with, this term of us moving from one form of an earth, the old earth, and moving into a new earth, which it's something that is more metaphorical, more mental. It's very mental. And it's something we are all going through collectively and individually. And, think of being an American right now and just all the information that has come out about our government, which it affects us individually, makes us step back and analyze the hell kind of a country am I living in?
It makes us wonder. Things change fast.
Yeah. What does this mean for me? What does this mean for my future? What does this mean for the future of my offspring? Does this align with what I believe in? What do I believe now? Because what I believed in was not that.
It's not there anymore. Yeah. What was there isn't there anymore that I see,
So there's a huge collective, cultural, political, economical, there's shiftings, there's changings going on all levels, which means that mentally we're changing fundamentally. We're changing the way
I have been.
I can imagine each one of you can sit back and reflect upon your life. What's been going on with you? What have you been experiencing in terms of sudden realizations of, wait a minute, I don't know.
I've been going through it for years now. I'm a Taurus. I'm not getting out of this for another 13 years or something, I think. Because I'm a Cancer ascendant too. Venus and Gemini. I got a lot of stuff going on, with the astrology coming up and having been going on. And in numerology, it matches up. It says that I'm in a 5 cycle and in a 5 challenge, I think. No, I'm a 0 challenge. I have 2 things of 5 going on right now, and I have 5 maturity. So of maturity levels, what comes in when you're around age 35 to 45, and it matches the astrology of what Taurus goes through, kind of, where my sun lines up coming up with what numerology does. It's really interesting is if you look into it, if you like numerology. But with mine in particular, there's a lot of changes going on for the rest of my life. But so I have to either embrace them or go blah, which I've been doing both,
Sometimes it's a little of both. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What about what's going on in your life? Have you noticed things like belief systems crumbling as you discover new sides of yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's always in some kind of flux, but lately it feels like that's been very accelerated. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it does feel more personal rather than it feels global. I'm not saying I'm not aware of what else is going on, but for me, this feels very personal. Mm-hmm. And so for as much as both the global and the universal reflects and vice versa, my focus is more on what's happening for me personally. Mm-hmm. Because I feel that's where I have where I feel I have the most agency. So since that's something I can do something about and make direct choices about, for me, that's my way of dealing with what's happening internally
That's really cool, man.
and personally. Yeah.
I love that. That says that you trust and you're not trying to control, because it's, this whole, we can reflect upon like so many different things in the world, the food industry, the war, the economy, where you're so disrupted by it. It's so, it's an experience that you can feel, and you have this passion about fighting it. But then you have to realize, look around, where are you? You're fighting something that is way outside of yourself. And that means that that you feel that you can control things, and you can't control things.
And you really can't.
Exactly. And the best
really
thing to do, Neptune and Aries, the self, the higher self. Come back to the self. Saturn and Aries take responsibility for the self and your own environment. What's going on within you and around you? And that's what you come back to. Yeah. Coming back
because
to yourself.
and I really do feel that, since all of us have, creator energy, whether or not we impact the world globally in a noticeable way, we all impact our immediate environment. We all create our own, I'm going to say, immediate reality. Does that at some point sort of ripple out? Does that energy ripple out?
Yeah,
it does.
It does.
But I'm not looking out there. I'm kind of looking in here, because that's where I can actually see that I can affect change.
Yeah.
In a way that I maybe cannot see, even though energetically I know it's out there. I can't see that on the global scale, but I certainly can see and I don't mean to make this sound cliched or anything, but my little piece of the world, I see how I affect that. So that's where it's not that I'm unaware, but that's where I put my focus.
That's cool. Yeah.
And that to me is a great barometer for where I am. Because I can see it all the time, that when I'm in a certain place, what that looks like and what my experiences are like. And then what happens if that's kind of out of sync or out of rhythm or not aligned internally for me, then I kind of see that get reflected around me. And that's very immediate. That's like real immediate feedback. And that immediate feedback for me is very useful in self-management. Energy management.
Miko's not around. Do something. You got.
I mean, she's the manager, but she can only do so much.
She can only do so much. Yeah. You've got to make the changes, Donna, not Tomiko.
Exactly. And as far as her world is concerned, her world is just fine. Thank you very much. So she doesn't need anything to change.
Yeah, that's the exact way to live in your own bubble of a world, and to make that bubble the best bubble you can make it. Yeah. And from there, it's like, throwing a pebble into water, that ripple effect, it ripples out from within. Within.
And I feel like the more of us who are oriented that way, the more actual effect, the more real effect we have. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
That's where we really do affect change.
It does make it more people who can speak openly about their spiritual experiences, psychic experiences, energetic experiences. So people who may not seem open-minded and they hear about it, they're probably going to talk about theirs. That's been my experience all my life, unless they're just assholes. Really, honestly, if they're just being assholes to me, to be an asshole, then they're going to argue with everything I say just to do that. And it's just people can do that to have control.
But you guys are aware that
most people don't, though. Most people,
there's. I mean, we're in the age of disclosure now. Out of 8 billion people on the planet, there's only 1 billion that are embodied souls. The rest are what a new term that has been coined from the gaming industry is NPCs.
I've heard of this. I've heard of this.
Yes, I've
Yeah.
heard that too.
Which there's
yes,
a lot
Soulless,
of vessels out there, but it's for those who have souls. The earth is a classroom. We came to this earth to, be go on our own individual journey, our own sovereign journey to find the sovereign self. It's almost like we're circling back, but we're circling back to a higher vibration of the self.
It seems to me like it feels like it's been here before. It's always been here. It's like we've had civilizations. To me, it feels that way, especially when I look at and learn more about astrology in particular. We see the cycles, the big, huge ones with the outer planets that we even discovered in recent times. They show a pattern, and we can go back and look at what happened at like what's going on now. There's just some things that are, of course, not happened that we know of yet, but some of them we do, and they're repeating, and they're happening in sync with everything that happened last time. Certain things in the astrology were right where they were,
and and those who have souls, we live in a supernatural state of mind, and that's how we approach the 3D world, which kind of doesn't sync up. Notice if you are a metaphysical practitioner, how you cannot get it to fit into this 3D or that 3D world. And it's because they don't sync up.
They don't.
But, the more that you're able to really align with that your soul self, living in alignment with the higher self, with the divine source, you're provided for, you're taken care of, things tend to fall into place. I live from that state.
Keep that mindset. How do you keep that mindset, Nichell? I believe that, and you've pointed that out to me too, Donna. The abundance mindset, not a lack mindset. Like the way we think is very important about the way we think about our lives and everything. I agree. Sometimes it's been hard for me with my health issues, especially like I'm in no pain for the last couple of days. That's really good. The LDN I'm taking working correctly because I readjusted the dose and it's working better. And again, so I have a little bit of joint pain today because I did so much yesterday because I had no pain, it's like, I'm going to enjoy today. And I did. And today it's not really that painful either. I'm not having the HEDS pain. By that, I mean all the fascia, it's like not hurting. When I have that, every bit of connective tissue in my body is inflamed. It's like
that pain is a voice. It's teaching you something.
It feels like a bunch of things I don't want to talk about on the podcast really right now because I haven't fleshed them out all the way. Once I do, I will feel comfortable talking about it. But it has a lot to do with genetics and family kind of traumas and.
But that's a story you're telling about.
But I don't know the whole story yet. That's the whole thing.
But just know that a story can be shapeshifted. A story can be alchemized.
Yes, it can be. I'm a writer, so you're right. It's my favorite part of writing novels.
So much of so much of what we experience is okay. So we have the experience, and the experience just is what it is. Everything else, all the meaning that we attach to it, where we fit it in, if we integrate it, where we integrate it, and what decisions we make about it, all of that is something that we construct. We build that.
The trappings of the mind.
Exactly. And we build that often. Certain patterns get established when we're very, very young. And because when we're really small, we're dependent. And we have to survive. The blessing and curse of being born an individual in a human body is we have the ego, right? But what's driving the ego, what's driving the self, the individuated self, is that part of our brain that has one directive, and it literally has one directive only, and that is don't die. We are wired to stay alive.
Everything has that, even mouthless bugs.
Well,
they will stay alive as long as they can to mate.
Because they have a different if they have a cognitive process at all, and the lower you go, the less, I guess,
Curious.
differentiated that is. When I
The
say
more you're taking
lower,
away
when I
from
say
yourself.
lower, I'm not making a value judgment. When I say lower, I'm talking about the kind of
Lower
brain,
mind.
the
The
kind
lower
of
mind.
evolved brain that a human or even a mammal has compared to like an ant.
Yeah.
And that's not a value
Mayflies are
judgment. We're
weird.
just different.
Mayflies are
Yeah.
strange. Yeah.
But yeah,
Just
so,
think of
so we're always
how
following, we're always trying to follow that imperative. And while there's certainly not a thing wrong with that, we do create stories all the time of our experiences. And when we're really small, we don't have a vocabulary yet, right? We don't necessarily have words, but we still have the experience. And then we're still trying to, again, kind of make it make sense, right? What did that mean? What does that mean?
But you know what? You go follow that line of thought. Like think about how indoctrinated we are from birth, starting with all of these labels. The soul is beyond all these labels, all these earthly 3D labels. Your first indoctrination is you're born into this family, the culture of this family, the beliefs of this family. Maybe these people, your mother and your father, have come from unhealthy upbringings. That's getting infused into that
Because they have their
individual.
own stories,
Yes,
right?
and
They
then
have all of their
there's that
stories.
layer.
Yeah.
And
Then
it's all in our
go into
genes and skin and
and then
blood.
go into public school system, going into the school system, the whole indoctrination of history, of just all these layers of stuff over the original authentic soul. And then here you are trying to make all these stories of who you are based upon your name, based upon your career, based upon where you live, where you're, and it's like these stories upon stories upon, and it's all stories.
Yeah. Which the beauty of that is anytime you choose, you can change the story. Anytime you choose, in that one moment where you say, that's just a story. And again, that's not to negate it. It's not to pretend it isn't real or wasn't a reality or wasn't a real experience. But at any given moment, in that moment of awareness, you can say, but that's just a story. And my story now is, and you can actually say right here and now, my story is, I am this, or I am not that, or, it's very malleable. It is very, very malleable.
And and it comes back to the soul is a shapeshifter. The soul is an alchemist. The soul is a magician. And because of the creator energy that runs through it out into the world, you can almost imagine. I remember one of my Reiki teachers, she described it perfectly. She's like, you are not the source, you are the straw. You are the straw where the divine energy is pouring through you and out into the world. And I was like, oh my God, that's the perfect description. We are like straws, constantly taking a source energy and shape shifting it through our own brand of whatever it is that we're supposed to be pouring out into our environment, out into the world that we are a part of.
You're supposed to be putting out there. What do you each personally feel like you're supposed to be putting out there as a calling, maybe, or as you're wanting to do, whatever you may see it as? Like personally, I want to make the world a better place in some way overall. That's one of the reasons I have little, ambition for this podcast is it might make some better lives, for people who are like 12 or 13 who might find it, and they're like, what the fuck is going on? I'm hoping for that little 12-year-old girl that she finds it, or the boy, a person. And it just means a lot to me to think that way, that I'm helping someone that age, because that was a really rough age for me. So for me in particular, that's something I think about. And it's really interesting. When I raised my stepsons, that was my favorite age. And I hated being that age, but I love to watch them just develop their personalities like over years, like a few years, really short time, like trying on senses of humor, like trying different jokes out to see what worked and what didn't, stuff like that. It's really cool. It was fun, and but a lot of other people at my age, they didn't like their kids when they were that age, Like they lost that like little kid thing. They were I rather enjoyed that part, watching them grow up out of the little kid stage personally, you know. But some people don't want to let go of the little kid, you know. But I did. I like to see them grow up because you can have a conversation with them. You know, you can't have. I mean, you can have a conversation with a 5-year-old. You can, but it's not the same as when he is 12, right? And he's got some big questions. It's like, ooh, this is interesting. And he has some thoughts even I've never thought of. You know, that's just really cool to hear from a kid I've been raising all my life, for example. You know, or his life. I mean. So like I love the input I get from other people just as much as like, especially on doing a podcast like this. Like if anyone's listening, everyone who's been on here, I feel like has taught me something. So I feel like there is a chance that maybe this podcast can change someone's life in some way and for the better. Even if it's just one episode, they'll get a word that helps them move on through a barrier that's really impossible, you know, because I had them all around and I don't know how I got through them, honestly. I look back, I can't figure it out. Except my spirit guides, the obvious. Can't figure it out except the obvious. God watches out for drunks and small children. So, Nisha, what are you predicting coming up for the astrology?
I have no predictions. All I just have is insight to the energy that's going to be
this
available to us. And we really are in this time period of just some miraculous change.
Yeah, they are miraculous.
You know, we really, I mean, especially like, oh my God, between now and the North and South nodes are going to be shifting from Virgo Pisces at the end of July into Aquarius Leo, which is going to be amazing. It's going to be interesting because, okay, think about 29 degrees of Leo is where the fixed star Regulus was discovered. Okay. The fixed star Regulus symbolizes the elites, the leaders of the world. And when the South Node is going to move onto this point around July 26th, it means an ending is happening. So it's like between now and August, our world is going to change in the most shocking, unexpected ways, globally, but also individually. And we really have a great opportunity, you know, for especially those who have been aware of this work, aware of knowing that this point in time was going to happen, that we can move into what's being called the golden age. But it's going to be very it's about discerning yourself and being discerning and kind of, you know, knowing that we each have our own place that we're at and our own karma to pay, and we're rising in our own ways, and we're not here to save one another. We can inspire one another, but everybody's got to do their own work.
Yes.
Everybody's got to do their own work, but it's a great time to be on the earth. What a time to be alive.
It's a wild ride. We've had several guests saying that, Nichell. You're not the only one.
Oh, really?
We all came here for a reason at this time, they say. Wild ride. You've got a good point there. We're going to keep it short and sweet today, I think, because we're going to do a live tonight on live tarot if you want some free readings from us.
Oh, Nichell. I love that. That's fun.
We'll be on YouTube. But I want to invite you back anytime you want to talk, Nichell. You're an open floor anytime you want to be on the podcast. And
thank you.
And I do have a question for you. I would love some advice, based on what we're talking about, man. I feel like you guys went really deep, and I was like fishing and watching the fish in the koi pond go into a haunted mansion underneath, but it was really beautiful. And then they floated up into some clouds and made a little sandcastle up there. So it was pretty cool for me. But I was kind of wondering, like, if you someone listening to this podcast is like, whoa, man, I don't ever have anyone I can talk to like that. What we all just did, just talking about the esoteric, what we feel is coming, it's just energy. Like, what would you advise that person? Who could they open up to? Who would they go to start talking about this stuff with someone?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I think that's
hard conversations for most people, but three of us sitting here, no problem, But
I
most
would
people want
say
these conversations.
online to find communities that you can be, engage with, Reddit, I'm sure has some great groups, but find some online groups that you can align yourself with so that you can learn more and not feel like you are some kind of a, freak because no one around you is thinking like you.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Great advice. Mine would also be, I think there's a lot of things that we don't realize that really, very, very simply, all we need to do is ask. And depending on what your belief system is, whether you believe in God,
it's hard to remember.
Whether you believe in God or source or your holy guardian angel, or whatever you may conceive of energetically that's available. I'm finding more and more now, having been raised as a Catholic as a young child. You hear about your guardian angel and we think, okay, well, that's pretty cool, right? Whatever. But no, I mean, really, it has taken me until, I'm going to say, relatively, almost embarrassingly recently, to realize that and some have called it the knowledge and conversation of one's holy guardian angel, is that really, however you conceive of what else is out there, even if you're not sure what all else is out there, honestly, to just ask.
I love that.
It is remarkable
out loud,
that when we just pause and say, please give me, or please send me, or please show me. But that ask, when it just comes like just simply from your heart, from your need, from your desire, from yourself, it is remarkable the ways in which source energy and the universe will come right in and go, we're so glad you asked. Here you go.
Yes. And what's cool about it is that like, if they're like, to me, when I ask for pain relief and they're like, no, they'll tell me why. And it will make sense. It will make sense because I have to help somebody by something I learned by fixing myself or something. Yeah. It's always a reason. But if I am asking for healing, it usually comes through most of it.
Don't forget, we all have our own soul guides. We all have our own soul group. We all have
my spirit guide Sam's great at Reiki.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He became one of my Reiki guides. I was taught shamanic Reiki.
I love it.
And she just adapted that herself, the shamanic part, I think, or maybe her teacher was. I don't know, but my teacher was that way. And so I was really excited because I already work with spirit guides. But like my main guide was like jumping on the train, and I had guides come in for the Reiki as Reiki guides. And like totally new spirit guides, a whole new team, 4 of them. The last one kind of sneaked in more recently, and it was just kind of cool. The spirit energy of like, I don't know what these beings are. One of them is a giant like cartoon fox, kind of. He's got this big head. His name's Carrot, and he has this big head and this little tiny fox body, and he just like sniffs out stuff in my energy with his snout, and then he like sniffs it out. It's weird. Like in the Reiki energy, like the imagery is him sniffing it out, and then this other spirit comes in. Her name's Gabe, and she just like scoops it all out.
Love that.
She's
but
really
I love
vicious.
that. Just simply just ask God.
Yeah, it works too.
Just ask.
That's simple.
Yeah.
Always does. Yes. Thank you very much, Nichell. Thank you so much, and thank you, Everclear. Everclear is our sponsor. Yeah. Everclear is an advice app and website where you can get advice from psychics and empaths so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And all 3 of us are advisors on Everclear. I am Lisa Rusczyk on there.
Dona Murphy on Everclear.
Nichell, like knees and shells together.
Knees and shells, Nichell. It's a beautiful name. I love your name so much. It's so beautiful. Both of you
Yeah.
have rad names. I've just got like Lisa. Everybody's named Lisa. Everybody was named Lisa when I grew up. 2 guests ago was a Delisa. So it's like it's everybody.
Yes, we just had a Delisa as a guest. I thought that was great. And I'm so glad we finally got a chance to meet, Nichelle.
Thank you.
It's
love
been
our
great.
listeners.
Yeah, it's
Love
been
our
great to get
listeners.
to get to actually know you and talk with you. I've seen you
I knew you
before
loved each other.
on other podcast, on Lisa's other podcast, but this is the first time getting a chance to meet with you and talk with you. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, you're a joy. I love your perspective. Thank you.
I knew
Thank
we'd
you
have
very
fun.
much.
And thank you, Nichelle. And Nichelle, do you still love our listeners and our watchers?
Do I what?
Do you still love our listeners and our watchers?
Oh,
You
sure.
love them. You love them. She loves you guys. She loves everybody. I don't think you don't love anybody.
Love. All we need is love.
We love you guys too.
Love, 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 love.
Thank you guys, listeners, watchers. We love you. We'll see you in another lifetime or tomorrow or at 6:00 p.m. tonight. Or that'll be yesterday by the time this is published. But hey,
That's okay.
that's okay. See you guys later. Bye.
Thank you. Bless you all.
Bye. Thank you so much.